Since being awoken by atomic bombs, Godzilla has lit up the silver screen. But his looks seem to be ever-changing, starting with the original. Let's go through his theatrical looks and story. Animated. In his first ever appearance, Godzilla has small arms, thick legs, and dorsal plates down his spine. His pupils are tiny, and he has fangs and pointy ears. After attacking Japan, he gets disintegrated to bone. A new Godzilla, appears in Godzilla Raids Again. This monster is thinner, with longer arms, a smaller head, and larger pupils. When in close-ups, his teeth appear to be jutting out. Sadly, he's buried in ice. But in King Kong vs. Godzilla, he busts free. He's now in color, is more plump, toeless, and has a lizard-like head with yellow eyes, no ears, and no fangs. He faces off against a giant ape, tumbling into the ocean, only to be washed ashore in Mothra vs. Godzilla. Now he's slimmer, has a wider head, wide eyes, and smooth, shiny brows. As his rampage continues, he gets covered in silk and again drops into the sea. But in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, he's back, now with a slimmer face and longer tongue. From this film on in the original series, Godzilla now defends humanity from more evil monsters. In Invasion of Astro Monster, Godzilla is thinner, his dorsal plates have more definition, his claws are dull, and his head is rounder. He shows off his new dance moves before briefly being put under alien mind control. Ibara, Horror of the Deep, gives Godzilla less angry brows. He battles against a big lobster and narrowly escapes an exploding island. In the sequel, Godzilla's neck is elongated. He's pudgier, and his dorsal fins are flimsy looking. His nose is also stubbier, and his eyes are bugged out. Oh, and he's now raising a hideous son. In Destroy All Monsters, he's slimmer, while his face appears more like it did in Astro Monster. He's put under alien mind control again, but once free of their control, he turns on them. For the next three sequels, his look remains consistent. In the first, he helps his son face off against a bully. However, this all takes place inside the dreams of a young boy, so moving on. Next, in Godzilla vs. Hedorah, he opposes a pollution monster, and when curled up like a shrimp, he can now fly backwards. In Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla has gained the ability to speak, while his suit, skin, starts ripping during his triumphant battle. He appears slimmer in Godzilla vs. Megalon, with a shorter neck, soft bright dorsal fins, and a round pig-nosed face. He boasts a long-distance dropkick, but this movie is mostly about a size-changing robot, so let's keep going. In the next two films, Godzilla has an angrier expression and more detailed muzzle. He uses a magnetic upgrade to protect an ancient god from Mechagodzilla, and in the sequel, faces him once more. But this timeline's Godzilla is sent to retirement, and 9 years later, a reboot Godzilla appears. This one's taller, has larger dorsal fins, a fourth toe, and his fangs and ears make a return. Although his reign is short-lived as he trips into a volcano, only to explode out in the sequel. He has a smaller head, a more muscular build, larger outer fins, and a cat-like face with a secondary row of teeth. He takes on a giant plant monster, who gets turned into glitter. In Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, his original form, the Godzillasaurus, is taken out of the 1940s and exposed to modern-day radiation, turning him into a taller, muscular, and angrier-looking Godzilla. He fights Mecha King Ghidorah and then gets dumped into the ocean. In Godzilla vs. Mothra, he's thinner, his dorsal plates are rearranged, and his neck is more ribbed. His head is flatter, and he has golden eyes. He battles against Mothra and Batra, and once again is plunged into the ocean and locked in by Mothra's magical powers. But somehow, in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, he's back. He has slimmed down shoulders and slimmer legs. He's also raising a blue-toned baby Godzilla. This time he's defeated when his butt brain is destroyed, but he's easily revitalized just moments later. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla features the bulkier original with less detailing in the neck and larger eyes, Godzilla Jr., who is taller and chubbier with a greener color scheme, and a large flying blue crystallized Space Godzilla, who gets obliterated. In this timeline's final film, Godzilla is glowing orange and his son now looks more like a hunched version of his father. When the original Big G has a meltdown, his son absorbs the radiation and turns into the new Godzilla ready for action. But the series would be continually rebooted, dropping him altogether. The first American Godzilla appears as a large mutated iguana with blue dorsal spines and a hanging dewlap. This Godzilla also has hundreds of tiny raptor-looking offspring. But this happy family is easily taken out by basic explosives. Back in Japan, in Godzilla 2000, he appears shorter, with green jagged skin, sharp purple spines, and a reptilian-looking face. While he's nearly swallowed whole, he's good to go for the next reboot, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, in which he's lighter, with a longer neck, and smaller mouth. He defeats a giant flying insect and is then sent into a black hole. In Giant Monsters All-Out Attack, Godzilla is formed by the ghosts of vengeful World War II victims. He has smooth charcoal-colored skin, white dorsal fins, and a hunched neck. His face is less lizard-like, with pure white eyes and no ears. But this Godzilla is mutilated by a drill missile, leaving only his beating heart behind. The following reboot, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, re-adds the jagged design elements and introduces a more wolf-like face. In the climax, he's blasted by a beam, adding a visible scar to his chest for the sequel, Tokyo SOS, in which he's covered in silk and again flown into the bottom of the sea. Godzilla Final Wars features a taller, smoother, and more slender Godzilla, with longer ears and red eyes. This Godzilla fights against a multitude of creatures, including an upright standing 98-Zilla. Then he and his hideous son head back to the ocean. In Shin Godzilla, he's first shown as a light-colored and armless creature, but quickly evolves, growing tiny arms and becoming more red with bloody accents. His massive main form is darker with a much longer tail that has a little face on the end. His jaw can unhinge and split apart, and he has a variety of handy new skills. He can also apparently reproduce human hybrids from his tail tip, but he's given a freezing agent, ceasing his evolution. The anime trilogy depicts a muscular, rounded Godzilla with a tree bark-like texture. 19,000 years later, he sports beard-like spikes and grows to his largest on-screen size, easily allowing him to become the ruler of Earth. Meanwhile, back in 2014, a plump American Godzilla appears. This titan has jagged dorsal plates, wide elephant-like feet, and noticeable gills. He comes out of hiding to stop two hideous star-crossed lovers. In Godzilla, King of the Monsters, he's taller and beefier. His lower half looks less stubby, his tail tip is more blunt, and his dorsal fins are less sharp and artfully glowing. Later, he's given extra radiation, and after ashes rain down on him, he gets a fiery new look and power upgrade, helping him to retain his kingly crown. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. And as always, thank you to the patrons for supporting the channel. If you'd like to see more kaiju evolutions like King Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, or King Kong, comment down below. King Kong is the most recognizable ape in movie history. But just how has he evolved in his near century on film? From the 1930s to the modern day, let's take a look at the big ape's evolution. Animated. In his original film, King Kong has constantly shifting fur all over his body, minus a hairless chest. He has a prominent brow, flared nostrils, and sharp canine teeth. He also sometimes has a longer face and a more bare chest. And in super close-ups, his face appears wider with smaller features. He's forced to become a theater attraction, but he escapes, snags his special lady friend, only to be shot down from the Empire State Building. In the sequel, it's revealed Kong had a son. He's much smaller, has all-white fur, and a much happier face. Although to save the life of a shady movie producer, this ape sacrifices himself in flooding water. In King Kong vs. Godzilla, Kong has reddish fur, with bald patches on each of his pecs, prominent cheekbones, thick eyebrows, and is much taller than most iterations of Kong. He is apparently supercharged by lightning, which he uses to fight a radioactive monster, both tumbling into the ocean. The first animated series features a more quadrupedal standing Kong with brown fur and stylish hair. This ape also has a best friend, Bobby, with who he goes on adventures. Additionally, this show features the evil Mechana-Kong, a robotic Kong operated by the dastardly Doctor Who. In King Kong Escapes, Kong is less than half the size of his King Kong vs. Godzilla counterpart. His head is bigger, with larger facial features, and he has longer arms and shorter legs. This film also features its own Mechana-Kong, equipped with powerful light bulb eyes and a utility belt full of grenades. Although the second version of him lacks the belt, but does have a hypnotic light on his head to help him fight against the OG Kong. The 1976 remake Kong has dark fur and skin, a small muzzle, and noticeably human-looking eyes. His face also occasionally looks unrecognizably round. This Kong is creepily attracted to his special lady friend, and when taken off his island, he is forced to become a mascot for a greedy oil company. But he breaks free, scales the Twin Towers, and is shot down, presumably killing him. But in the sequel, it's shown Kong is being kept alive in a coma. This film also introduces a more red-furred Lady Kong, who is used to give Kong a blood transfusion, allowing an artificial heart to be placed inside of him. This time, Kong is a little taller, has longer hair, a more pronounced chest, a longer face, and his eyes look less human. He and Lady Kong run off together, only for the military to shoot him down. But before he passes, he's able to see his just-born offspring, Little Kong. The Mighty Kong features another cartoon Kong with a bulging torso, rounded muzzle, and despite the poster showing him as all brown, this Kong has gray skin and dark fur. Like usual, this Kong falls from the tallest building in New York, but this time he gets to survive his fall. Kong in the animated series features a muscular build, a blue-toned coloring, longer arms, and a tiny head. Although in his final outing, his look would be more streamlined with a larger head. Notably, this Kong can meld minds with his human brother, which boosts his intelligence and allows him to double in size. The 2005 King Kong looks largely like a silverback gorilla, with noticeable scars and large protruding teeth. This Kong is easily entertained, but much like his original counterpart, is no match for bullets and a 1,400-foot fall. Kong, King of the Apes, features a more stylized young Kong, who then grows into an adult. In the second season, he's given a slight redesign with pinker skin. This Kong wears laser-proof arm bracers and occasionally rides a giant jetpack. In Kong Skull Island, Kong has great posture. His fur is light brown, and he has prominent scarring on his chest. This Kong defends his island's visitors from his unruly neighbors. In the follow-up, Kong is much larger, has darker fur, and a salt and pepper beard. He also now yields a fancy dorsal fin axe to help him face off against the king of the monsters, only to team up and take down an even greater threat, proving once and for all that Kong really is the king of the apes. Thank you for watching the video, and huge thank you to the wonderful patrons for all of their continued support. Remember to leave a like, and hey, comment down below which version of Kong is your favorite. Check out our other creature evolutions and the rest of our animations, and be sure to subscribe to see even more. There seems to be a robo-doppelganger for every hero. But just how has Godzilla's mechanized counterpart evolved? Let's find out now. Animated! In its debut, the Showa Mechagodzilla cleverly wears a Godzilla disguise, which it quickly ditches. It has knee pads, a stout-bladed tail, arm insignia, and a neck window, while its head has a pointed antenna, yellow eyes, and red circular receivers. This cosmic monster, created by alien apes, has many abilities including a rainbow eye beam, chest lightning, a defense barrier, launchable missiles, and flight abilities. It goes after an ancient deity, but gets dismantled. In the sequel, the rebuilt mech is streamlined with longer fingers, prominent shoulder frills, foot spurs, tapered knee pads, updated arm symbols, and is tinted slightly darker. This time, Mecha G befriends a weird dinosaur, but when the cyborg embedded with its control device decommissions herself, Godzilla easily defeats his bionic double. An adventure Godzilla and a cutesy bluish mech with yellow accents and crossed eyes appears. Plus, this bot loves asking skill-based questions. Heisei Mecha G has a smooth design with broad legs, prominent pecs, no tail blade, a cat-like face, and is much larger. On top of the similar functions to the previous mech, it has a rainbow mouth beam, electrified arm tethers, a strong diamond coating, and a plasma stomach grenade. It later attaches to the Garuda ship, giving it shoulder-mounted beam cannons. This super mech is piloted by the Japanese Defense Force, but isn't enough to defeat the reheated Godzilla. A cartoony Heisei model makes a Godzilla appearance, as well as a puppeted cameo in Godziban. In the video game Godzilla Generations, a second Heisei model adds Showa-like characteristics, extra arm weaponry, an elongated neck, stumpy tail, and flared legs. Its new capabilities include an added force field, a nuclear plasma cannon, and super speed. Godzilla Island includes a black-plated Showa Mechagodzilla with white eyes, and another disguised Mecha G briefly appears as well. Godzilla the series revives 1998's Godzilla. He's now purpley with beige dorsal fins, is emaciated, lacks a finger digit and is given cybernetic enhancements, including the fully robotic right arm. This cyber monster has an atomic breath, dorsal fin missiles, and a sound wave deflector. He's under a villainous alien hive mind, but is no match for his own offspring. In Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, the bones of the 1954 Godzilla are fitted with mechanical parts. This mech, named Kiryu, has a tapered tail, large dorsal plates, exposed wiring, and 3 head spikes. It has attachable blue shoulder cannons, matching arm railguns, and is remotely charged with microwave energy. Kiryu's powers include a maser mouth beam, electrified arm blades, and a freezing chest blast. Also, on occasion, Godzilla's soul influences this mech to cause havoc. In the follow-up, Kiryu has a darker coloring, is sleeker, has added chest ridges, a shorter neck, and a tinier head with smaller eyes. The right arm has a convertible hand drill, its attachable weapons are gray, and the chest now shoots a hyper-maser cannon. In the end, Kiryu sacrifices itself to sink a cocooned Godzilla. The anime trilogy mech has a convoluted design with theropod-like legs, massive dorsal plates, and a thin head. Despite being destroyed, its nanometal later forms a whole city. A virtual Kiryu is called upon in Ready Player One, outfitted with red lights, added tubing, 2014 Godzilla-inspired spines, and is the smallest live-action Mechagodzilla. It has an atomic breath and targeting finger missiles, although its control center is easily destroyable. The Monsterverse Mechanical Titan is blocky, with darker plating, beady eyes, rectangular dorsal fins, large arms with claw-like hands, spread feet, and a prominent red glow throughout its body. This is also the biggest Mechagodzilla yet. It's neurally linked to a telepathic Ghidorah skull and is equipped with some of the mech's usual abilities, along with added buzzsaws and a drill-tip tail. But it's no match for a monkey-lizard tag team. Singular Point features a Showa-inspired Robo-Godzilla built upon a Godzilla skeleton. It has a dark red torso, beefy legs, circular joints, and possibly a longer tail, although this apocalyptic robot is so far inactive. Chibi Godzilla's mech is rounded, with yellow trim and pointed ears, but this little fella just can't compete with the original Mecha G's. Check out the other kaiju and creature evolutions on the channel. The next animation will be our 50th, so hit like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications because Aaron's got many ideas brewing.